Those old. Okay.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back
Center
to
track. Center track.
You get him.
Oh, hey,
Show him.
what's up? Sorry, I was playing Mortal Kombat.
Playing
What's
some
going on, guys?
Sub-Zero. Playing some Sub-Zero versus who? Raiden.
Liu Kang, he kicked my ass. Yeah.
some ass kicking,
Usually does. What?
like Rick Grimes, bitch.
I think Perp was here.
Yeah, you know.
Oh.
You know.
I didn't kick him out, did I?
Oh, there
I
he
didn't
is.
kick
No?
you out, did I?
No, I accidentally swiped a little bit too far.
Left?
To close. Yeah, it closed my
Oh, okay.
whole entire thing.
Hate it when that happens.
Sometimes I just keep
Wookie's
swiping.
here.
Yeah. I usually swipe left unless she's a fatty.
Hey, fatties need love too.
Exactly. I like them
I used to be a
thickens.
fatty.
Unless she's unless she's Trailblazer, the new Marvel character.
I'm looking to fuck them, not have them fight for me. Come on, Ben.
Well, she can run really fast, so apparently. So there
How
you
is
go.
that possible? Oh, I see. Downhill, and then she starts rolling. Is that how it works?
Yeah. I think that's. I
Right.
think you got it. Yeah. I
Well,
think
she
you
should be like
must think-
Snowball instead of Snowflake. Oh, that's the other one.
I haven't had a chance to read this comic yet.
It's okay. You don't. I'm sure you're not missing a thing. Apparently,
No, you're not.
apparently,
You're not.
no, apparently the creator is missing though. Like he's pulling a Joe Biden. He's just like he's vanished.
Off the
How about that?
face of the planet.
Apparently.
He should for
That's
that
okay.
that travesty.
Yeah. Well, what was his name? Hiddlesworth? Is it Picklesworth? What was his last name? I can't remember. It was like Kellogg Picklesworth or something like that. I can't remember what his last name was, but
I heard he's touring around the nation and getting swirlies from all the teenagers at high schools.
Oh no.
Yeah. 'Cause that's where
not
fucking
sanitary.
nerds like him belong. Head in the toilet. Swirly is what we used to do to kids when they were nerds when we were young kids. Yeah.
Back in there.
So if you don't know what a swirly is, yeah, look it up. Swirly. Hmm. You know what a swirly is, don't you, Ben?
Not the
I-
ice cream.
I actually learned. I learned the easy way on that. I didn't learn the hard way. I never
Good.
got one of those, thank goodness. But
You
yeah,
had-
That's good. So you
What
were
is the
a
easy
giver, not a receiver?
I got bullied a lot, man. I got in a lot of fights, but never got wedgied or swirlied.
Oh, I've been wedgies. Oh, that's
Have you?
painful.
Have you?
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
oh.
I've
Brought
been
back
with
terrible
you.
memories. Terrible.
Did it make you a better man today?
No,
I was a
no.
wedgier. I've given a lot of
No.
wedgies too.
In fact, I think that's why it has a curve now. Permanent curve in it, you know? But it's
Gave you
cool. Chicks dig it.
Yeah, it gave you a little bit of a little bit of curvature, a little bit of emphasis,
Character.
little oomph,
Right.
a little bit of
Character.
twerking. Now you do sometimes the girls they make you twerk now, right? Is that kind
It's curved just right to hit that G spot, you know what I'm saying?
yeah. It's,
Yeah. But I'm all G spot. 'Cause I'm all so long. Sorry, this isn't a Ribbit and Bigot show, is it?
No, we're
Walking
talking
Dead,
about The
Walking
Walking Dead.
All right, sorry, Rick.
Yes, The Walking
Old
Dead.
Old
Megs,
man
the
Rick.
facial hair looks really good. Looks really
Yeah,
good.
well, you know, the store ran out of razors, so I haven't been able to shave my beard lately.
No shave November.
Yeah. No,
I think
well,
you just want to look more like me.
Yeah, well, you look so fluffy these days, Jolly. You know, you've been getting all this attention, and I'm jealous. So I thought I would start fluffing out, you know.
How's it
Even though
taste?
people can't touch, it's no touching, but I can still look fluffy.
But what does it taste like?
I don't know.
Old sock? What do you?
Megs, do that.
I
Megs,
was just drinking some coffee, so it kind of tastes like coffee, to be completely honest.
do that, and say, "Do you want a swirly?"
Do you want a sweaty?
Or do it. Never mind.
Spare. Got to put a V in
I'm
there.
Rick. I'm not Russian. I'm Rick.
Oh,
That's for another day.
Yeah.
right.
Another day, another stream. We're Walking Dead here, guys. Come on, let's get with
Right.
the picture.
Wait.
Oh,
And we
what?
got
thought you
Fanaddicts of Film and Perp Minded here tonight. Which
Yes,
is
we
awesome.
got our
Here.
friends streaming with us, talking about zombies, and we got our friends in the chat like Wookie and K-Log and Shellback. We're good friends.
Wait, this is
What
Walking
up?
Dead. I thought this was supposed to be what's that HBO show? Westworld. I thought that's what we're
I've
doing.
never seen that actually.
It's okay. Neither have I. Just kidding.
I heard the
Let's
first season was good, but then it
Season-
like went downhill.
Season 1 was
Nah,
good. Season 2, train wreck.
You-
Yeah.
You got to be into that type of stuff,
Yeah.
like the transhumanism stuff, because I find that stuff to be really fascinating. That's why I kind of like the show and the direction it's going. And it's not going to be for everybody, but
Well, season
Right.
1 was good, and the reason why I think one of my good friends pointed out to me that there wasn't any humor at all. And then it's like that because the original movie there's like bar fights. It's a cowboy thing. You're supposed to have anyway. That was his thing.
Mhm.
I don't know. I didn't care. I really liked season 1. Season 1 was good. Anyway. We don't need to go further on that. But yeah, it just kind of went to the So, did you guys enjoy your gypsum weed trip?
Oh my god! I thought it was an apple.
That was
She
part
ate
of the
an apple,
assignment.
right?
That was part of the assignment of before this show. We're supposed to all take some gypsum weed.
Was
Right.
that the show? That was the show?
I
Yeah.
didn't get that memo.
Oh, I thought I was just tripping. There's some good weed.
I thought I just got a good deal.
Yeah, I was like, damn, I'm seeing season 2, man. This is intense.
Except they missed out on some key points, which I was pissed about. By the way, I was a little irritated about that. I'm not gonna lie.
About
Oh.
what? Sorry. What?
They skipped out on the governor and during
Oh,
her
well,
whole
yeah.
psychedelic trip, and some
Right.
key character arcs in her persona, man. Like,
But they
no,
had to
no,
refilm
no,
a lot
no.
of. They had to refilm a lot of that though, and that's expensive.
But if
'Cause
you're
they
gonna
had to-
do something, do it
Yeah.
right, man. Especially
I
if that's
feel
gonna
ya.
be one of the last episodes that she's gonna be in. You gotta do it right. But who am I? I'm just Rick Grimes.
Well, because they had to film that entire scene. They had to. I like that. It was great. I got that. Yes, that was
Sorry.
great.
Like,
we
got, bitch.
we got a little bit of
Rick Grimes, Rich.
Rich.
we got a little bit of season 3. They skipped all the way to like season 7. It's like, all right, we don't have to go that far back.
Yeah.
Tara's here. So,
I thought it was.
Hi, Tara.
they ran
Blew me
out of
away.
razors at the grocery store, Tara. So
What
Very
blew me
fast.
I
away.
hate it when that happens.
once you start, can't stop.
Right. Is that
That's
what
like
they say?
Like an 80s. That's like an 80s television commercial. Once you start, you can't stop.
You think that's bad? You ought to see her legs.
Mm-hmm.
Funny.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into this
Good
episode,
thing we're
guys.
on
Let's-
isolation, guys. Good thing.
Okay, so how we all feeling about Michonne and her send off? Like, because this is her last episode.
Yeah. I'm
How
excited
about
to
you,
get
Ben?
Maggie back, though.
How you feel about it?
Part of me.
I mean,
go ahead.
Oh, go
Sorry.
ahead.
No. Was he? I don't know who. So go ahead. You.
Ben, Perp, either one doesn't matter.
Go ahead. First.
Shout
Go ahead.
out, shout it out.
all right. So when the episode started, I was like, okay, I feel like I was watching on Cody. Yes, I did not watch this on television, so I was just like, I was a little thrown off. I was like, did I get the wrong? Did somebody upload like an old episode or something like that? And
Right.
I was like, oh, so they're remixing it. So I was like, oh, what if she didn't save Andrea that one time? I was like, that's pretty cool. I'm in for it. But like, the placement of this episode was weird to me. I feel like we should have got this as like a mid-season finale or even the start of season 10 to
Right.
get it out of the way. But for his send-off, I thought it was decent. I think it could have been a lot better. Like, obviously, there's a lot of things they could have done better in this whole entire season. But
Right.
for her send-off, I think it was okay for what they were trying to set up. Because obviously that's to set up the Rick Grimes movies and stuff. But, I thought it was okay. It could,
Yeah.
like I said, it could have just been definitely better. But
I think the big fail in it, to me, the first thing that I stand up, I was like, what did they fail at? Because there were definitely some emotional moments that I was like, literally, Michonne, like, but the biggest fail was that they brought back the friend zombies, the zombies in the friend zone, the two zombies behind. They bring those back for literally 2 seconds, only to destroy them again. I mean, they're trying to say something with it. It's supposed to be a bookend right? That's supposed to be your, right? They show her at the beginning, and that's how her character was always introduced. That's what was so intriguing for me as a character. That's what was so intriguing for her. But my favorite was the gyms. Have you guys? Maybe we'll get into the gypsum weed in a little bit, but I think in general, like, I guess to answer your question, as far as a send off, I mean, I guess it was okay. I'd give it maybe a 7 out of 10. It's tough. Yeah, it's tough that this is her last episode. I didn't realize that until you said that. So I had to think about it. I have to watch it again. It's just, I don't know. It was emotional though. For me, it was emotional. Not for you at all. Not at all.
I definitely felt the emotions. It was just like certain things kind of like were taking me in and out of it.
No, I'm wondering what Jolly thinks. Jolly's like, not at all. You're just like, it's the worst piece of shit, huh? That's what I'm just saying.
Oh, he's like, F this, I'm out, bitches. I'm out.
Man, it's like, I've given this show so much crap, and Jolly's, he's brought me back. He's, told me to be optimistic about it. But no, I guess not this episode.
So
I mean, did you hate it too, Megs? What do you think?
Okay, so I was really confused for the longest time. I felt like I was having a total blonde moment the entire episode. So I realized that she ate an apple, and I'm like, okay, so I feel like I'm watching an Alice in Wonderland meets zombie apocalypse, because he's sitting in the window and he's like, hee 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 hee, and then it starts like turning upside down. I'm like, okay, all right, so this is like a cool take on this, all right. And that starts happening, and then it's like she turns into like Negan's little henchwoman, and like I said, she's missing out on those key character arcs with Andrea and all that, and I'm like, what is going on here? Because no, the governor, this happened, they're leaving all this out. I'm getting really mad.
What?
I'm like, am I missing something? Like,
we all knew that you didn't know immediately there was an acid trip, because he says gypsum weed, and so that's something where gypsum weed, what it does to you, it makes you literally think that you're somewhere else. Whereas as opposed to like LSD, where you see things, you see random stuff. But
I guess I don't know what gypsum weed is.
It puts you in an alternate reality. You are literally in an alternate reality, like the episode was.
I figured she's literally just on like some sort of psychedelic trip, some sort of.
Well, you get so lost in that reality that you think it's real.
Okay.
My brother had done that. I
guess that makes more sense then. But
my brother experienced
I figured she was getting lost, but it's Michonne. Come on, grow some.
Now I think about it.
You're Michonne.
Now I think about it, since like she let Andrea die in this scenario, she probably wouldn't have met the governor or nothing like that, and they would probably ran into the saviors or something like that down the line.
But that's how she was introduced to the whole group, was through that scenario, was through the governor.
Yeah,
not
that's
through
right.
Negan, not through any of that. She was introduced through the governor and through that whole situation. Like, if it wasn't for that, she would have never even met the group.
But I think there was a lot of...
Yeah.
I don't know.
Andrea's, it was a major connection to all that, obviously.
She was the only reason why she connected to them.
Yeah, that's true. I'm sorry. Earlier, for some reason, everybody was talking in like this robotic voice, and I was like, "What the fuck? I can't understand it." That's why I popped in and out. It must have been weird. Something messed up with the line. Anyway, I understand you now, and I just got to say, I'm fucking pissed off.
You didn't like it either?
Well, I want to see Rick Grimes. I miss him so goddamn much, Megs, and this episode just made me realize how long it's been since he's been on the show, and how I've just kind of hung around since he left, and I'm not quite the fan that I used to be, and it kind of just made me angry, I guess. Weird. I don't know. It's such a mixed bag, because I was happy for Michonne that she was going to find him or whatever. But at the same time, I'm like, yeah, well, what? It's going to take 3 more fucking seasons before we see what happens, It's,
well, I think it has a stronger, for me personally, it has a stronger build that way, because it's like she finds his goddamn, and the way she looks when she sees the boots, her whole face just contorts, and it's like this. It's like a Steven Spielberg moment.
It's torture.
Like, it was just very. It was.
Your soul is just like.
Okay, so am I wrong in thinking this? Where I think any parent would go back home to their children first before they go on some crazy trip to go find daddy. And why wouldn't she come back and try to get some backup? You know, tell Daryl or somebody. You know, and I'm sure somebody would tag along with her to help her on this journey.
Yeah.
So I mean, I understand they had to write her out of the show, but they could have been a little bit smarter about it because it felt kind of.
Sloppy.
Nobody to go with her,
sloppy.
You know?
Yeah, good word.
I know exactly why she went alone. Because for the movie, they have to pay all the actors a lot more, and they didn't want to pay another actor a lot more.
Makes sense.
Makes sense.
But it's like
that's probably why.
But it's like I like the whole like what if scenario. Like if she ran into Negan and then like it was weird to see that. Like why would Negan give Lucille to, or even did she use Lucille or did she use her?
She did use Lucille. She did. Yeah, that was a weird moment, but I think once again it just illustrates how twisted Jim some weed is. It's not trying to say this is just because I had personal experiences with it. Not that I've done it. I just know people who have, and they're literally talking to someone else in the same room that's not there. Like they're talking to someone who's literally not even there. And so so she's living this alternate reality, and it can take her on a bad trip, and that's what she had. She had a bad trip. She just describes it as herself as hell. She says, "You gave me hell, you son of a bitch," because he did. He gave her hell, and it was terrifying, terrifying to see because she ended up. I mean, it all started to make sense. She's like, "Oh, she met them first. She met Negan first, so she ends up becoming one of the saviors." It makes it made sense to me, but yeah, it was really sad.
And what I was saying earlier to everybody before we started live, like the actor that plays what's his name, Virgil.
Mm-hmm.
He the actor that plays him, Kevin Carroll. Anytime you see him in any role, do not trust him. Just saying.
Right.
Burnt down, or he might be slipping you some drugs, or he might go tell the cops on you or something.
He's always shady.
He's one of those. Yeah. Shady character. I knew something was fishy about him. Yeah, no, he did a good job. Yeah. I found him very believable in his role. So I think he nailed it. What's up with the cow people though? They're all wearing leather. The ones that Michonne helped at the very end.
I didn't get that part. I didn't understand what was going on at the very end.
Let's go. Right.
I think
they got cowboy hats.
The what?
I think they're going to be with her in the. Oh, you hear me?
The movie.
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh. No, I think that that they're going to pretty much be set up for the movies and whatnot. I think that's the only reason they were there.
Okay.
Isn't it like called Homestead or something? You had like a name for these people. You guys know what they're called. What these people are called.
Oh, in the comic, it's what's it called?
Commonwealth.
Commonwealth, right?
Yeah, and then there's another.
Yeah, but in the comic, they're a little different.
Is there
You're
another?
Thinking that they're from there.
I hear there's another group though, like that's in Fear of the Walking Dead. I'm not up on Fear of the Walking Dead, but there's another like rival group that they said that they're going a Commonwealth versus this group, whatever, and that's how the two shows are going to cross over and whatnot. But
interesting.
Yeah.
So is Fear pushed back now? Like all those shows are pushed back now, right?
Most everything is at this
point. They're not filming anything. We're gonna have a huge lull. There's gonna be a huge gap where there's like not much, and that's where we come in, everybody. Right. We're gonna be the show now.
Your source of entertainment.
It's gonna be weird to see that. Like everything's gonna take a hiatus. It's gonna be really weird. But so really quick, I was just literally watching that scene again, and it had more power. It had the way the music was and the editing, the depth of all that, and where they showed Michonne and Rick is like saying, "Who are you? What's your name?" for me, it just had a lot of impact there. So that's why they skipped the. That's why they skipped the. That's my assessment. I have no idea. That's just my opinion.
It was a great scene, emotional scene. I liked it. With the
I
boots.
feel like this episode was like misplaced. Like it should have been placed somewhere else.
I felt that. I felt it should have been earlier in the season.
Really?
Yeah. Because like you go from last week's episode, and that's the thing. It's very like this season's been very inconsistent. Like you'll have one good episode, and then they'll give you one boring ass episode. Then we get back into the shit, and then give a boring episode. I was like, yo, you guys gotta pick like place these episodes in better order or something needs to be cut.
And so really quick, show back to
so.
So did she never actually found any weapons, right? On where she went, she never found any weapons.
Yeah, all those crates are empty.
No. Okay.
Well, somehow she got her swords back because she's at the end with her swords again.
Right.
So I don't know. Like, there's a lot of there's some definite time jumps. Really quick, Shellback TJC says Michonne is leaving. Yeah, Michonne is going to be in the movie. She's going to be in the movie with Rick. Whenever that comes out,
right?
If it ever comes out.
Movies, because there's 3 of them, and she might not show up till like the second one.
Mm-hmm.
Wookie also says that he likes my hairy chest. Keeps me warm.
So I'm going to. Are they are the Rick movies supposed to be coming out next year? Well, starting
I don't know.
Let's find out. I'll look it up. I'll look it up. Let's see what I can find.
Or is that even started? I doubt it. They started shooting yet. So
yeah, if they haven't started shooting yet, it's never coming out because it's like with this virus. Like, there's no way they're going to start filming for a while at least.
Right.
That sucks, man. That really sucks.
Yeah, it delays a lot of things. Like it delays next season. Season 11 or whatever. Because that usually starts filming in the summer.
I could wait on that. As long as we get American Horror Story at the end of this year, I'm cool. I'm pretty sure that's pretty much wrapped up by now.
Well, the first Rick Grimes movie was announced in 2019, July 2019, so they may have started, but we have no idea. There's no update on it. They may have actually started filming.
Yeah, we
at
have
least
no idea.
they probably at least started writing, unless they've finished writing it too. Yeah,
that sucks.
Yeah, that's gonna get delayed.
Well, at least if it's in the writing process, that gives them more time to make sure it's a good story.
Yeah,
and trying to be optimistic here, but make sure they deliver a good trilogy, because if that's what's going to be, it needs to be well-rounded, and it needs to have its roots with the season. That it's co-inspiring with.
They can't fumble the ball with like Rick's story and stuff. Like, they gotta really do his ending, or else the whole show and just everything falls apart.
Yeah.
They can't pull a Michonne on this Rick movie.
Yeah.
So.
No. Because the ending of the comic really revolves around Rick, and so they have to bring him in at some point, obviously, or else they're not going to be sticking with the way the comic goes. So
Mary killed off
if they're sticking to the comic, they fucked that up. So I mean, they can't fuck this up too.
I'm calling it right now, though. Maggie is going to pop up at the last episode, in like the last, very last
this season, right? Yeah.
Yeah, last 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Be like, oh my god, what are we gonna do now? And Maggie shows up. I'm here to save the day. See you next season.
Yeah, it'll be. Yeah, it's like we've all kind of gotten used to Maggie not being there. It's kind of weird.
And I don't like how they've been treating Michonne's character, and also the actress that plays her, because she's very capable of acting. It's just whatever they give her, it's just like it just makes her seem like a weak like a weak actress or something like that. It's just,
she's very intelligent, and just like whenever you hear her talk, she's like it's kind of hard to listen to her because she's just so intelligent, and it's kind of hard to listen to her because it's like, what do those words mean? Really,
Well, it's good to see her kicking some ass finally. You know, I hadn't seen her kick some ass in a long time.
How did y'all feel about like Judith and little RJ there? I just feel like RJ, he should just,
their conversation.
I don't know.
Though.
He
Why don't
just
they just call him Dad?
Yeah,
Well,
he just, I don't know. It's just they're making Judith seem like this all smart, all knowing being, and then like RJ's just like barely. He's still in that Google Gaga phase, which I get it. He's young, but like at that age, you should know more. More work. Yeah. I just hope we do get like them in the future or something like that, and then they get their own like spin-off show where it's just Judith and Rick Jr. just being badasses or something like that, like their dad and stuff.
Right.
We might.
You didn't like the little I'm little brave man. No,
I did not like that. That was like, what? Come on.
Call him Dad, man, or Rick Rhymes, bitch.
Gonna go find the brave man. The brave man.
Like, where my dad?
The fuck is he? A Native American? Was he Indian?
Right?
I don't get it.
Your
brave
dad.
man.
Or is he not
He's
your dad?
riding around on a horse,
Michonne?
war paint, and a bunch of feathers in his hair.
I must have
not Judith's dad, but
I must have missed this, like, or just completely overlooking it, like when Michonne and Judith were talking about her leaving or something like that, and she was completely cool with that. Or what?
Yeah, that too. Yeah, I didn't buy that shit. Yeah, just
like,
go, Mom. Fuck it.
yeah, you gotta go. You gotta do
Yeah,
it.
we'll be
He might be
I don't know.
hurting more than us.
Judith is
we
like
got it.
He wouldn't want that. Sorry.
Judith is no. It's Judith is like murdered zombies. She's murdered a person. Like I think she's slightly different than your average like whatever year old girl.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just my opinion. I don't know. Like she's very independent.
I think would have helped this show is if Chandler Riggs would have stayed on.
Yeah.
People are mixed with his character, but I feel like he should have just been the new, like, flagship character or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, the new Rick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if Rick was going to be taken off the show.
Well, social justice, man.
They have to do something like to just make these last, or like you probably got like 2 seasons left, maybe, or maybe 3.
Right.
Hopefully not 3.
Maybe.
But
hopefully not.
Just and when season 11 comes out, like just give us all the episodes. Just put it on AMC Premiere and stuff. Just put all the episodes up because people don't want to wait week to week for this shit no more.
Especially when one's gonna be good and the next one's gonna flop, and then vice versa.
Yeah, it's just a waste of time.
Yeah, well, we got our beta fight coming up, so we got some fun stuff coming up. Yeah. And then Megan and Carol. That'd be fun, a little mix.
That was savage putting their head on a pike and stuff for them to see. That was cool.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun to
dig
watch
that.
the reactions to that.
So who do you think is going to make it out this season? Or who's gonna die this season, I should say. Like,
well, Daryl will live. Daryl will always live.
Right.
For
always.
Now.
Daryl dies, we riot.
Of course, yes. I have a shirt that says that. And many other things.
Eugene will meet his love, right? This girl that he's going for, right? And then
they'll fall
and
love with their passion.
I bet you Ezekiel dies along the road trip. I'm going to put money on that. Because he's got that cancer thing probably about to take him out any point now.
Isn't it like a thyroid thing? A thyroid.
I was
wondering. He's got a big old lump on his neck.
I think it's a thyroid thing.
Yeah.
I was wondering what that was because I was like, what are they showing? You got bit or something, or like you got a scratch, or
or like an
cancer, isn't it?
A thyroid
tumor.
endocrine.
It's a tumor. It's a tumor.
I want to see what's her face with the slingshot go. She can go. I want to see Rosita. Right. Like I don't know why Rosita. Like I would honestly. I would
Right.
rather see what's the other Tara than
Right.
Rita. She can go. I think Father Gabriel's gone. I think he's gonna die.
Right.
Nah, he'll be around, I think. Oh, wait. Where did
He
we last
might.
leave him
I
off
don't know.
at?
He's in the comic. He's coming up on a pretty big scene where he
I don't
gets
like him,
killed.
so usually
So
the
I don't
people
know if he's gonna
like
live or
stay
not.
alive.
Yeah. The preacher dies in a war with Beta and the zombies, I think. So
Oh, okay.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if
would
he lives through it.
Well,
I
didn't
would say
Rosita?
50%.
Rosita was supposed to die too, and she's still alive.
Mm-hmm. I would say.
Oh, Rosita, Ezekiel, we're both have to have their heads on pikes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would say get rid of 50% of these dudes and just get new actors, and let's wrap this up as
Some
fast
good-
as possible.
Yeah, for sure.
Mhm. And give us something else besides this bullshit. I want to see a Rick movie trailer or something. They already
Yeah.
gave us a small little teaser thing.
Well, if so, you would have been happy if like she found Rick in this episode.
I would have been happy if we would have got like a call from Rick, like she got him on the walkie-talkie or something, heard his voice.
Right.
Yeah, something more substantial. I don't know what fucking clue she had on where he is. What was the clue? Did I miss it?
Well, she found his
That would-
boots and all stuff.
That would be an
phone
interesting
picture.
callback to like how Rick was communicating with Glenn and stuff with the walkie-talkie. That would be a
Right.
cool little off for Michonne's character.
Yeah.
And all that.
That's what I was expecting. Yeah.
But it's
So
just like,
I'm still lost. What did she see? Okay, so the message, I looked it up. The message on the phone that was written in Japanese, it was something along the lines of like, keep hope alive or always keep wishing for the best. Something along those lines.
I've got it right here. It's it just says Rick. It just says
Right.
Rick, and then forgive me, I think it's Japanese underneath, and
Yeah, it is.
yeah. So, but I mean,
The Japanese part says keeping hope alive, something like that. I looked it up earlier.
Oh, okay.
Forgot exactly what the exact translation was, but something along those lines. So did he? It makes me wonder. Did he see Judith? Because how the hell does he know Judith has the hat? How does he know that? And
Yeah,
I don't know. It's
and why
very
is he on
confusing.
a boat that's close enough to be around there? And why, if he
Right.
was on a boat that's close enough to be around there, why wouldn't he go to them?
And why would he be lost all this time? I mean, what is it, 6-7 years?
Yeah,
I
because he
mean,
didn't see
yeah.
Judith that time because it's been a time lapse. Last time he saw Judith, she was a baby.
Right. And I'm still
Maybe he was-
confused on how Michonne found any clues to where he's at.
Maybe that
She
picture.
didn't. Just the boat. That's all she knows is that he was on that boat because she found that phone on the boat, and then the shoes, the boots.
Oh.
And then that guy, because the guy said once they start up that boat or whatever, they can go somewhere or something. And then they found a log that says, I saw that it said New Jersey, something. Virginia to New Jersey.
Okay.
So
But
who
maybe-
who drew that?
maybe-
Who drew Judith and
It just said-
Michonne?
We don't know.
I
Do you guys know? We don't know who drew it.
I think it might have been Rick. Rick might have been on that boat, and he would just imagine what she would look like now, or just thinking
Right.
about Carl or something like that. Or,
Yeah.
you know how
Or
Rick gets.
he
why-
went and spied on them or something
But why
in
was-
Alexandria.
Did
checked
Rick
on
learn
them.
Japanese?
Must
Did
have
Rick
in the
learn
6 years
Japanese
being
and
in
started
that
writing
place.
Japanese?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
guess so.
pretty.
So that other people couldn't see it and translate it. I don't know.
They definitely have
What
a
if
lot
he got
to-
culturally appropriated? He got culturally appropriated, and now
Maybe
he
that
thinks
was
he's
written
Japanese.
on there before he got it.
Hmm.
Maybe he kills zombies with chopsticks now.
Hey, you gotta use what you got.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Maybe that's a reach. That's a
Some-
reach.
Sometimes I kill people with chopsticks. It's fine.
Fuck
Hey.
yeah.
Sometimes, just
Hey.
when I'm in the mood. Shit.
I drop hits like
Whenever you're feeling
chopsticks.
frisky, man. Whenever you're
Sometimes.
feeling frisky.
Right?
One thing I wanted to mention just really quickly about last season. This is something that I wanted to really quickly outline just 2 seconds of. I did rewatch the end of last episode, the very last episode, the death of Alpha. Sorry, spoiler, everybody.
Yeah.
I totally spoiled it for all you. Sorry about that. But
Spoilers.
yeah, so that whole scene is extremely tribal. They're actually playing like kind of a tribal beat. It's actually it's probably just a floor tom, but it sounds like a Native American style drumming. It's very tribal. That whole moment, that whole thing that's happening there, and just Negan's totally calling her on her shit. Just like, you are worthless. You are just this cardboard person. Anyway, it's just, I loved it how he basically just mansplains the shit out of her and destroys it, and it's wonderful. Anyway, just had to point that out. He does really destroy her by the end of that. So.
Yeah, I thought that was a really good scene.
Yeah, it was really well done. Yeah,
and that's what I'm saying. Like, they had so much potential to do more and keep that energy going. But then when I saw the preview, I was like, now we're getting the Michonne episode.
Right.
Like, I completely forgot she was a part of the show till like 2 seconds later.
I just
they waited, I think, a little too long to show that episode. Yeah. I agree.
It had a lot more potential than what they gave us. So, I felt.
One of the biggest standouts,
and it's big fucking tease. Sorry, Ben. Go ahead.
Oh no, it's one of the biggest standouts. I know that everybody like kind of hated this, but having Michonne lecture them. Okay, so Michonne's walking around with. So this is Michonne's acid trip, right? She's walking around with Lucille. Well, she actually doesn't have Lucille yet. But she's walking around lecturing them on on what they did, because they did murder people in their sleep, and so it does harken back to what this group of people used to be. They used to be pretty. I mean, they had to fall off that to combat what they were fighting. But it's a really interesting thing to be reminded of that, and how Michonne was basically calling them, no, you're the evil ones. You're the one who stabbed people. And they show that, they show the scene of Glenn like knifing somebody right in the face, and it's crazy.
Yeah. While they were sleeping.
Speaking of another person that's missing, what happened to what's his name? Cliff? Is his name Cliff? The dude with the dreads?
I always run.
I know what you're talking about.
Dr. Dre.
It's not Cliff.
Yeah, he plays Dr. Dre and stuff.
I know exactly. God, what is his name in the comic? He's got a bigger role in the comic too. Yeah, he's supposed to come back, I thought, but he went to a different show, and so that's why they didn't exactly get rid of his character. They just made him disappear, because he's actually a real relevant character. And is it Heath? It's Heath, right?
Heath, yeah.
Heath, yeah. But yeah, he's a relevant character in the comic, so I thought he was going to come back, show up again. Because he disappeared back with Tara, right? Or Tara, right?
He was on the bridge and he just disappeared.
Right. Yep, that was it.
That's weird.
Weird. I don't know, maybe he'll pop up in the movie. Who knows?
Maybe he went with Maggie?
Possibly. He probably found Maggie or something like that, ran into Maggie.
Maybe him and Maggie ran away. I don't know.
But I like what Ben brought up with like the whole Michonne situation, because that's exactly what she would have done in that situation, either or. Whatever side she was on, she's always been loyal to the side she's on. So it's like,
and how she was living her own nightmare, but living it to its fullest, and it was extremely well done. Like you were saying before, Megs, is that she's an extraordinary actress. She's amazing, and seeing Rick just. He's the one who does her in at the end of her trip is just crazy. Yeah. I thought the trip was actually masterfully shot, and it was brilliant. Just the way that and it's supposed to evoke pain. You're supposed to feel pain for Michonne because we love her as a character. But here she is fighting for the other side.
Well, at first I was like, wait, what? Daryl left her behind? Wait, what? This happened? And I was like, wait a second, no, that didn't happen. No, that didn't happen. No, wait, no.
Yeah, that one where she's running, that was a trip. Yeah, I thought that was her.
Exactly. Then, that was what I was doing the whole time, and I was getting so confused at first, and then I realized what was going on. I knew she was on the thing, but then when it went straight back to what the past had already happened, I was confused because I knew she was on a trip and she was in the room, but then it went back to a flashback. And I was like, okay, well, She wasn't in the woods. You know? So
My brother, when he did ginseng weed, thought that he was driving a car when he was inside. He was driving a car and he was obeying traffic, like he was literally driving when he's indoors.
Right.
So
See,
it literally it transports you. It's VR, just not as expensive.
I guess I've just never taken or experienced anything like that.
I didn't
guess
either, thank goodness.
Relate.
But
I don't know.
He did. He's told me all about it, so it's crazy.
And I was, because I remember the actress, she was talking about this season how it was going to be very psychological for her character and stuff and all that, and I guess that's the psychological aspect of it.
That's what she meant. She meant literally.
I thought
meaning metaphorically.
I'm just glad they didn't like stick her in that cell and leave her there. Like I thought they were going to leave her there for the entire episode and be like, "So okay, this is where we're going to see Michonne again in 5 years." Like
5 years later.
Yeah, 5 years later, she's Rick finally finds her in the cell or something. I'm just glad they didn't do that to her.
When old boy like locked her into the cell, when he changed his face, like, oh yeah, I was waiting for it because I was like, yo, he's gonna do something crazy.
Old man Smithers.
And that was
He's
weird.
gonna do something. The lock of I don't. Where were they? What was that? Like a store or something like that, or?
It looked like a prison, but I think you're right. I think it may have been a store. I think you're right.
It wasn't clear on my end, but when they panned at the end,
I can hear you, kind of, Jolly, a little bit.
When it was panning out, when it was panning out, and they showed you what they were looking at, like Michonne and the characters that she met up with, I couldn't really see like cities, like buildings, or like people in like 4 different like sections.
I couldn't.
Are you talking about the very end? Those were people marching. Those were people
marching. Okay, I didn't understand that.
Yeah. The first time we see it, I thought it was walkers. I thought it was a horde of walkers. But then you look closer, and then it's like, well, then that's when they're like, they kept saying, what do they keep saying? Oh, they'll leave without us. They'll leave without us. Please, you got to help us. And that's when she has to get rid of her new friend zombies. But yeah, it's kind of weird. He's in denim, so he looks like he could be in a weird prison outfit. My 2 cents is my prediction for Rick is that they're going to probably have him, because once again, I always complain, if Rick is alive during this entire time that he hasn't been able to visit Judith, it's been 10. How long has it been again, Megs? 5 years, 6 years, 6 years
plus years.
So Rick has been missing for 6 years. The only way I think they've got to have had him in a coma. I think they would have had him in a coma,
or they just got him
locked up somewhere.
A prisoner, or he has to work for these. He has to work for these people. He can't go nowhere.
Right.
Secret agent.
And Maggie could be in the same spot too, where Rick said. I don't know if she's gonna be in the movies or not, but.
I don't know. Did you explain why he's on a boat? Rick Grimes on a boat, bitch. I don't know.
He's all dressed like Mr. Bean. He's just being a weirdo like Mr. Bean.
Yeah,
I thought
I'm excited for it.
I thought it was a great episode, man. I thought it was great. I mean, there was definitely some weak moments, but I think Michonne shined in it.
Yeah, I just there was so much
like
potential.
the whole the whole flashbacks and stuff and the what ifs, and then like the stuff with Virgil was kind of took me out of it. But like I said, it's okay. It's a solid episode. The placement was weird for me, and I feel like they could have probably done a little bit better. But
yeah, I liked the bookends of showing it the first time we saw her. Right, the very first time we saw her, we get to see that. That was great. Like you get to see her with her 2 friends that she's made. I think it would have been more interesting if she made her 2 new friends people that we know, but they weren't, because that's the whole point of her having her 2 friends, right? Her teethless and armless zombies that protect her. quote unquote protector, that they were people that she knows. I mean, that's the whole thing that was very interesting about her, is that she knew these people.
Well, that's one of the reasons why I was so mad.
I would have thought like she was still tripping, and those were, you know, Judith and RJ growing up, and like, or that's teasing that. But then I was like, Judith don't got red hair, so like that doesn't really fit. But it's still teasing something that it's possible that they could do that in the future.
I actually was predicting that she was going to have Virgil at the end. Like Virgil was going to be one of them, you know, one of the zombies at the end. That's what I was thinking of. But
yeah.
Did Virgil even survive this episode, or did he die?
No, he survived. They wanted to kill him, the other people.
Right, and she didn't. She didn't.
Because they imprisoned them, and she's like, no, guys, we gotta be peaceful. We gotta be better than that.
She had fire in her eyes.
So do you think we're gonna see a whole different Michonne now, since like she's kind of gone through this whole revelation?
She thinks Rick's maybe alive now, so I think that she's gonna. Well, now, I don't think we're gonna see any more Michonne now.
But I mean,
gonna be gone. She's gonna be gone now. Michonne gone, be gone.
Okay, that's better.
She's
Jesus,
gone now.
Everybody was talking with this robotic voice, and I'm just like, it felt like I was in a room full of Chinese people.
Well, we
Minus the flu.
Well, we are Chinese robots.
Minus the flu.
We are Chinese robots. We are Chinese robots. We are Chinese robots. We are Chinese robots. Sorry.
I got a question for Jolly, since he's kind of more in tune with the comics. Now, after this whole Whisper War like kind of settles down, do you think they will, since they've been remixing it and whatnot, at least one of the Whispers will get away, and that'll just be just lingering somewhere or something like that, or a few of them will get away? I think
the Whispers?
I think it would be cool to see like everybody die besides probably Beta or something like that. He just gets away. He just dips off into the sunset or something like that.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see them wanting to like keep him around as a main villain. Maybe take him to another show like Fear or something. Yeah, I could see them keeping him around for that, just because he's really becoming a popular character really quick. You know, I could see him having Negan status eventually, as far as fans go. So I don't know. But with the comic involved, I hope that, you know, this next episode when they show Eugene going to meet what's her name, I hope that is finally our connection to Commonwealth, and we're going to finally kind of start seeing this story, you know, wrap up, so to speak, because I don't know how many more of these seasons I can do, man. I don't know.
How much more I can take.
It's funny.
That's always been my thing about Walking Dead. I felt like 16 episodes is way too long for this show. Like, it should be like at least 12.
Yeah.
Or even 10.
Well, at first I couldn't get enough.
First season was only 8.
I know.
First season was 8 6. Episodes. Yeah.
There's
6. Yeah. Okay, 6.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, apparently in season 2 they started running out of money. So season 2 apparently from what I read, there was an interview that I read somewhere, and apparently they were running out. So that's why they stayed on the farm so long, because they were just like running us out of money. And so, but that was before the show really became a hit. So
yeah, but think about that. Like, you know, if they would have just put more of their budget into less episodes, like we would have some dope looking visuals and a tight story and stuff. Yeah. Like certain things weren't dragged out, because I feel like a lot of people fell off of this show around around the time Negan came around. Like after that, like when they drug out that whole all-out war storyline for like 2 seasons, I think that really killed the show for a lot of people.
They killed Glenn. That's what killed the show.
Well, they killed Glenn.
Really?
They turned Daryl into a little beta bitch for a whole season.
Yeah,
kept him kept him as Negan's little bitch boy.
A little bitch boy in the corner.
And pretty much kept Rick a little bitch for a whole entire season too. And granted that, you know, that was true to the comic, but it got dragged out too long. People just got tired of seeing him getting kicked around.
And then they killed Carl.
And then, of course, they offed Carl, and me and Megs were actually on the verge of saying that fuck it, we're out. At when that happened, Carl was a big one.
Because the way he went out was terrible. Like
bullshit.
You get bit like that.
That was pretty dumb.
Zombies. You get bit like that.
Right.
Wow.
Bullshit.
I think the one that really like irritated me the most though, like it was Tyrese's death. That just irritated me. It's like you kill all these zombies and then you get into this one scenario and you get bit and like
right.
Yeah. That's when they just kind of ran out of a storyline. They just kind of threw something in. Like, well, we got to get rid of this guy, so this happens. It's like, bullshit. They need to stay closer to the comic with those kind of things, with the deaths. Because when they start jumbling them around and they run out of ideas in the comics, usually with every character's death in the comic, it's usually a pretty good reason for it, and has a pivotal effect on the rest of the group going forward. Nowadays, with these newer seasons, I'm getting more of a sense of, well, it's time for this guy to get offed. It's time for this guy to get offed. I'm not feeling as much of an impact behind them as I do with like maybe Alpha. Alpha felt like it was a deserved death, but she had a great build up to it. Some of these other ones, not so much.
Yeah,
Jesus was a half and half. It's like I understood. Yeah, I understood. Like you had to make a huge impact with the Whispers, and that was one hell of an impact. Like I didn't see that coming at all.
Yeah,
and
it was pretty surprising.
At the same time, they could have used Jesus because they have like no muscle now.
Yeah. Sure.
I'm still pissed off over Dale. So.
Damn you, Carl! Damn you!
I like Dale. Damn it.
Dale was a good guy.
I just like the fact that he was the only one that could see through Shane's bullshit. That was one of my favorite characteristics about him, was he could smell Shane's bullshit from a mile.
Shane is definitely like a top 5 villain. He's up there. Like if he was still alive, a lot of people would be dead right now.
And him and Negan would have gotten along very well, I feel, if they were like together, like at the same time when they're both bad guys.
Oh, that would have been an awesome scene to have the lineup instead of like what was it, Abraham that gets cracked. It would be Shane.
Right.
And can you imagine John Berthol saying "suck my nuts" or something like that? That'd be hilarious. Like,
right.
It's really super hard for me to see him as anybody else but Shane when I see him in other movies.
Yeah.
It's really, really hard.
He played the Punisher pretty well. So
I did.
A chance to watch those. Yeah.
I did. I watched all of them, but I couldn't see him as Frank Castle until like season 2. It took me a while.
A friend of mine actually met him and mentioned it to him like way before they even cast him. He's just like, you'd be perfect, Frank Castle. Like 2 years later, they were like, yeah, he's Frank Castle.
Nice.
That's
pretty
really
funny. Yeah, it's
speaking of things into existence.
Yeah,
I need to meet him so I can get him to sign my Walking Dead poster. I have a really old season 1 poster.
I think the only thing that's been really consistent of The Walking Dead is the theme song. That's the heart.
Yeah.
Don't change it up. I even know they have remixed it a little bit.
Yeah, the imagery of it they have, but the actual music of it they haven't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're so sorry. I just saw the address. It's Virginia Haswell or Maxwell. It's either Haswell or Maxwell, New Jersey, Bridgers, Shergrave. Anyway.
Is that where Eugene's going?
It's on
like a little manifest thing.
I do know down in Atlanta, they have like the off season when they're not filming, they let you do tours down there on the set. So you can actually go down there and check out Alexandria and stuff like that.
That's cool.
Did y'all catch any of the behind the scenes stuff that they be putting out for these episodes?
I
think they only did it for one, but I think they did it for last week.
I caught the trailer for next week though.
Oh, true. Yeah, because I think it was last week they put out like a 10-minute video with like behind the scenes of the whole.
It's like I can't watch those because it just kills it for me, man. Then I just see all the fake zombies. You see Daryl going, "Hey!" You see everybody just smiling on the set. It's like, that's ruined.
I will say that battle was better. I will say that battle last week was a lot better, and you could visually see everything clearer than what Game of Thrones was doing for that. Like, the battle?
Of course. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It helps you enjoy it when you can actually see what's going on.
You mean you didn't watch it in a movie theater, even though the show aired on television? That was their defense. Do you remember that? Did you hear about that? So that was their big defense on that whole thing. They're just like, oh yeah, well we make this stuff so you can watch it at a fucking movie theater, and it's like, well, you aired it on television, you stupid fuck ass.
Okay. Yeah, because you have HBO in the.
I'll never forget that night. Me and Megs fucking with the TV. Why is your TV so bright, Megs?
The brightness won't go any brighter.
TV sucks, Megs.
I already turned off all the lights. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't understand. No, I can't get the glare to go away.
It's a shame that HBO passed on The Walking Dead, because The Walking Dead was originally supposed to be on HBO. They passed on it.
Yeah, they shopped it around to a few, actually, I think, before they finally landed with AMC.
I bet HBO's kicking themselves in the teeth now, kicking themselves in the ass or whatever.
They could have definitely, because now they're doing The Last of Us and stuff. I was like, man, they could have had a dope, they could have done something really dope. The budget would have been there.
Yeah, the budget would have been higher. For sure.
They wouldn't have to worry about them. They wouldn't have to worry about making 16 episodes. We get 10 episodes. Go through.
And they would have paid they would have paid Frank Darabont what he wanted, and we would have kept that kick-ass fucking producer / director on the series, because I still think it never had quite the magic till after he left.
No,
we would have to add to what Meg said. We would have got some. We would have got some zombie titties.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I have faith that we would have.
A little bit of ZT in the house.
Have we not gotten any ZT yet? Exactly. Bullshit.
So to answer your question, Megs, you were asking about Eugene, where Eugene's going. He's going to some place in Virginia, but the place that they're talking about is interesting because it says Virginia Haswell, and I think that's someone's name. And then it's New Jersey Bridgers Shipyard. Bridgers Shipyard, New Jersey. Anyway, this is very intriguing. So I guess Rick is in New Jersey. He's on the New Jersey Turnpike.
He's up by my way, so.
Yeah, there you go.
Very interesting.
I don't know anybody want to come here, but.
I grew up in Morris County. I grew up near that area, so kind of Morris County area, so.
Yeah, well, I can't go back home right now either because Seattle's kind of they just locked down Washington State today, so everybody's supposed to stay home now in Washington State, just like California, and I think New York's doing that too, aren't they?
Yeah, Jersey's locked down, so but pretty much they got a curfew and stuff out here.
Well, it's like how are people supposed to make a living? Like what about people who have jobs that take place outdoors? It's like, what do those people do? It's like
we all got to go work at the grocery store now,
or Amazon,
and fight and kill over toilet paper while you're there.
Right. I'll knock out a few grandmas. Back up, grandma.
Be security, like a bouncer for a grocery store.
My official title will be TP Protector. The TPP.
I protect all the TP.
I'm the TPP.
Only one role.
All sheaths and all plies.
And then on the side, you start making a business for hazmat suits, but the hazmat suits are just made out of toilet paper. But somehow you convince people to buy them and just, it's real. It's real. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. You sell them for hundreds of dollars.
Just tell them to wrap themselves in it. It's protected.
Yeah, this stuff is.
It's your problem.
It's 2-ply, man. It's 2-ply. It's good shit.
But it's really only 1.5 ply.
Even though I already spliced it in half, I cut it. I cut it down to 1 ply, but they don't know that.
Yeah.
All right,
Been
guys.
using
Well, I gotta get out of
Yeah.
here, but
Yeah.
good stream with you guys tonight.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
That was
Anybody
fun.
want to say anything before we?
Do you want to give the episode a rating? I give it a 7.7 out of 10, man. I thought it was great. I loved it.
I'll give it a 7-ish
6.5.
because it was
7-ish?
7-ish. It was well done, but it still pissed me off because I wanted more. So yeah.
Perp. What did you say?
6.5.
Yeah, I would concur with you. I was gonna say a 6.5 as well.
Okay, what would have made it a 7 or 8 for you? Would seeing Michonne do something more like what would make it what would amp it up for you guys for Michonne? Like seeing her do something more like physical, or seeing Rick or having Rick.
To be honest, to make this like a 7 or 8, we didn't even need to see this episode. To be honest,
Okay.
it's completely taken on. Or just continue. Like if we got next week's episode instead of this one, then it'd definitely be an 8.
There was just so many points. The whole it wasn't in the right order. It needed to be before the Andrea thing, the little tidbits, all of that put together is the
Sloppy.
reason. Yeah, no.
The first half of you're absolutely right. The first half of the episode didn't push the story forward, even though I loved it. Even though I love the ginseng weed,
I think you're
acid
just
trip.
partial because of that.
Yeah, it is.
To be honest, I think you're just partial because you love that and you love
gotta
your
go take
experience and your connection. And I think you just love it because it brought it to the light and to the public. So you're just
Megs is
love
talking shit. Look at that.
sorry.
Megs is talking shit.
Yeah.
Funny.
No, I get that way too. If it there's stuff that's not heavily publicized and they talk about it, I get partial to it.
Yeah.
Well, it's like now I
But
want to
it
go
didn't
do
do
something.
Michonne's character justice, man. It didn't.
Yeah. Let's all do some mushroom tea, man. Fuck it. But for me, like I said, it was I needed more. I needed more of a some kind of better clue. I mean, the phone was cool or whatever, the fucking little drawing and shit. But I needed something substantial where it's like, oh, Rick was last seen here, or there was a map there that she's seen where he was marked on it at some place that she's going to. Where the fuck are you going? That's what I was trying to figure out. I'm heading north, is all she said.
Well,
and
now,
it's just like, oh, okay. And so
now that
I
you
was
mentioned
confused
it,
by that.
why is it written in Japanese? Now that you mentioned it, now I'm really confused. Why is it written in Japanese?
And they're on the East Coast, yeah. So I don't know. It's all weird.
He might have ran into Glenn's uncle. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Is Glenn back from the dead in a good way? So you can think,
Glenn lived.
right?
But he looks
He's
like
kinda
that guy Sloth from Goonies now.
Hi guys.
No, hey Rick! I lived to the back!
I will find you.
Rocky Road!
I'm so glad you brought
No
up Glenn because Wookiee Supremacy says Glenn's death is widely known as one of the most brutal deaths in comic book history before the show. And Wookiee, I concur with you on that. I actually loved Glenn, and I was tragically really pissed off when they actually killed Glenn. So hail to that! Hail to that! I loved Glenn. Glenn was so awesome.
There was a moment, Ben, actually, in the comic book, fandom where we or they or however you want to put it, but went wild when that happened. Everybody freaked out. Like, oh my God, did you see what Negan did to Glenn in the Walking Dead comic? So there was already a rumble about it before Negan ever came on the show. And then once he showed up on the show, us comic fans knew that scene was coming.
You knew. Oh damn!
Yes.
So you were all
Stepping on
spoiled.
eggshells. Yeah.
So you were all spoiled. Everybody was spoiled.
They were spoiled.
It's throwing that
ahead,
that little they threw in that twist with Abraham because when he said you're taking
that was a
chef,
twist.
he says that to Glenn in the comics as he's bashing his brains in and stuff and whatnot.
Right.
I thought that.
And there was less people there. There were less people there in the comics. It was only like 3 or 4 others that were witness to it, besides Negan's group.
And did he say something in the comics along the lines of why he didn't want to hurt Michonne because he felt like it'd be racist or something like that?
Yeah, something like that. Yep. But then he went ahead and did it to Glenn anyway. So I think he said it about Glenn too. Like, oh man, I can't beat up the Asian one. Yeah, he did. He debated which one he was going to do it to for a while. Yeah.
In the show, you have only one character to blame, and that's Daryl. That's why
Right.
Glenn is dead.
Yeah.
Right. In the show.
Yeah.
But Daryl doesn't exist in the comic.
comics,
He just decided on
Yeah.
Glenn. That's who he picked. It was random. But the other thing about Negan, which I do miss, and we got a nice little snippet of it. If you have the Blu-ray set of that season where he beats the shit out of Glenn, they did an unedited version of that episode on that where he puts all the F words in. So it's in true Negan form where it's F and this, F and that. Because in the comic, he drops an F bomb pretty much every other word. So he is a little bit out of character when it comes to the show.
Yeah, they have to tone him down a little bit.
Yeah, but if you ever get a chance to see that uncut version of that episode of the Glenn smashing, it's great because Negan gets to go all out in that one. He drops all kinds of F-bombs.
All right.
Much better version, I think.
Yeah,
personally.
I agree.
Yeah.
Anyway, you guys want to plug your channels, plug yourselves, plug your favorite stuffed animal?
I'll go first. This perp. It was a pleasure joining y'all for this Walking Dead stream. What I have coming up, I'm going to be watching Dispatches from Elsewhere. That's another AMC show. It's Jason Segel created it or whatever. Very trippy show. If you like miniseries and stuff, and definitely check that out. I will have a review of episode 5 as soon as I get done doing this. I have my 1K live stream Wednesday night at 11 p.m. Eastern. So if whoever wants to show up could show up. You know what I'm saying?
What's the name of the show again? Because I actually love AMC. I don't get enough time to see stuff.
It's called Dispatches from Elsewhere. Okay. It has Andre 3000 in it. It has Jason Segel in it. A couple other familiar faces. I forget the one dude that was in Star Wars. I forget what his name was, but I've seen his face somewhere. But really,
you mean Andy Richter?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just making shit up. Sorry. No. I'm just bullshitting it because. Sorry. Yeah. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us. This was really fun. My name's Ben, and you know where to reach me. Fanaddicts of Film. Thanks so much. Thanks, everybody. Really awesome. Megs is hilarious. Such a blast. Perp Minded, you're badass. Awesome to hang out with you guys. Really great to hang out with you guys. That was fun. I don't know what happened to Jolly, but he's probably getting Jolly Rancher.
I think his phone died, so he tucked and rolled. All right. Thanks, guys, for hanging out with us. We'll see you next week. Have a good night. Bye.
Thanks for having us. See you.
Stay safe, and don't forget your back kisses and your Yenner checks. Bye.
Wash your hands.
Yes, do that.